Hi, everybody. I'm Christina Recchia. I'm your instructor for Industrial Engineering 6830, summer 2022. I'm going to apologize ahead of time because you're going to hear the same words a couple times. I don't know why it was so hard for me to record a simple syllabus video, but it was. So when you run into it again, if you have seen this video, you have gone through the syllabus and you do not need to listen when I go into the Canvas tour or anything like that. So, because it's in module 1 as well, module 1, video 1. Toward the end of it, I do a little bit of Canvas because I realized that I hadn't done it. So, what we're going to do today, hopefully fairly quickly, is just run through the syllabus. I'm going to do a screen share here. This is an asynchronous course. So although the times and dates are set, Thursdays, May 12th through July 28th from 5 to 8, you can actually, view the videos whenever you want. There are assignments that are due and you do need to get those in on time. So there are some requirements that have dates on them, but the actual lectures aren't. I taught this class a couple years ago and had to do it async, because of COVID. And there was a lot of good feedback from it. I understand a lot of you are working parents and appreciate the flexibility. So hopefully that works out well for you guys. I'm happy to teach this traditionally someday when we can all get back together in person. But for now, asynchronous I think is helpful to many. So we're going to go fairly quickly, hopefully, through the syllabus and understand kind of what's required of the class, what our goals are for the class, and your expectations hopefully will be met. The class provides frameworks, concepts, and tools for thinking about and planning on implementing technology change. This is not an easy thing to do, especially in companies that are what you'll learn about considered specific phase, which just means mature. They've been around for a long time. They have set processes that are very difficult to change. And that's where hopefully this course will help you to navigate. Our approach is, both with academic reading and with some tips on how to do this to help you to analyze what your environment is all about, who is in favor of technology change, what is their, status as far as being someone who is influential within the organization, who are the people that are resisting this change and why and how to manage that. So we are examining the change process. Let me get to the books because these are really helpful. So the two books that you'll be purchasing, or hopefully have been purchased for you, Everett Rogers' Diffusion of Innovation, and Switch: How to Change When Change is Hard by Chip and Dan Heath. These books give you perspective. So Everett Rogers, this book was originally published, I think, in 1962. It is full of case studies on how diffusion takes place within organizations and lots of analysis for why things worked and why they failed. I think you'll be surprised by a number of the innovations because they are simple things like boiling water so that you have healthy water to drink, and being able to cure or avoid getting scurvy in Navy ships. So things that to us today are really simple to understand, and certainly no one would argue with them. But at the time that these innovations took place, there was a great deal of controversy about why this needed to be done, or why people wouldn't do it. And I think you'll be surprised at the resistance and why there was resistance to some of these innovations. And it helps us to understand that innovation is not something to be taken for granted. And the diffusion of something, even if it makes perfect sense, is not something that we can just expect to happen. It must be planned and navigated, and hopefully this book will help you to do that. Switch has terrific metaphors for how people look at change and how you must understand why change is so overwhelming to some, so that you can help your organization navigate an important change. A large part of your grade will depend on the term project, which is a real project within your organization that you're going to try to implement. You'll see in, I think, Module 1, Video 1, some of the projects from years before. They're very ambitious. So we're not expecting you to complete the project during this term. Some of the projects will never be completed. It's just about understanding how a significant change is initiated and how and the kind of resistance that you will find and how to get through that resistance so that you build up skills for managing change, especially in these days where change takes place so much faster than it used to. Let's see. Oh, at the end of the term, the last day, you'll be giving a 10 to 20 minute presentation of your project, along with a 15 to 20 page double-spaced report on the project. I am not hung up on this number of pages. It should, of course, be at least 10 pages because they're double-spaced, so that's only 5 pages. And you've got a lot that you need to write about to be able to understand and articulate exactly what happened in the project. So the participation, because this is an asynchronous course, will be different than a traditional course. You need to get through the lectures because they will hopefully help you with the project, but they're at your leisure, basically. Like we talked about earlier, it hopefully will give you some more flexibility. But there are assignments that need to be done. Homework, most of the homework really was kind of taken out of the class, but certainly you have your discussion board work and things like that that need to be done. There'll be quizzes that you have to do every week, including the first week. So hopefully you're viewing this video long before May 12th because there is a quiz due on May 12th and a discussion board due on May 13th. So please make sure that you get your homework in on time. With regard to plagiarism, cheating, or misconduct, we follow the code of conduct from Wayne State. This PDF will, explain in detail what that is, and it's very important, that you adhere to that. I don't tolerate cheating. I do give a lot of flexibility though for time and things like that. I know you guys are busy. This is the grading scale. You'll see this is a graduate course, so we go from C- to F. There are no Ds in this class, but everybody tends to do pretty well. You guys are pretty serious students. You wouldn't be in this course if you weren't, so I'm not, particularly worried. I'm not going to go through every class here because you guys are more than capable of, of reading. This document will be posted in each module, so it will take you step by step through what's due for this particular week. This is Module 1, Class 1. And this will be at the top of Module 1 in Canvas. Obviously, if you print the syllabus out, you'll also have that, or, you can just view it. So it's in a couple of different places, so to make it hopefully easy for you to follow along. The due date should also be visible in Canvas when you log in. It should tell you, like, kind of on the side here, what's due. Let's see. So this is kind of an introduction to diffusion of innovation. And then we talk about, in Class 2, innovation as a system. So we talk about the elements of innovation, introduction to the dynamics of innovation in industry, which should be really interesting to you guys. There's a lot of information on Ford Motor Company. Henry Ford was a great innovator. And the interesting thing about this is that, because they're talking specifically about Henry Ford's perspectives, you're talking about Ford during a fluid phase of their, development, their organization. So you guys are now, from a Ford perspective, well past fluid, well into specific phase. So it'll be interesting for you guys to kind of be able to analyze the difference in perhaps what he was indicating and how things run today. There should be a very noticeable difference between, the Ford of the past. We're going to have a project proposal discussion board in Class 2. I want a 1-page description of your technology, change implementation, and we'll be discussing that, via the discussion board. So I want to make sure you guys stay on track for this this project because it's a big part of your grade. Let's see, class 3, generation of innovations. Directing the rider. So here we start to understand how we can manage technology change by understanding the different components and how much control we have, and what we're capable of doing ourselves, and how we need to inspire and motivate people for change. You don't have a quiz this week. You'll have a 2-page paper due. You're going to be reading the case study, Disruption in Detroit, Ford, Silicon Valley, and Beyond, which was written in 2016. So that week you don't have a quiz. We also have a case study in class 4, Agility versus Inertia case study. This is a case study that was written by me, so I know a lot about it. And we'll have a discussion board regarding that. Your perspectives on this. Does this still take place, or is it something that has been resolved? Is this something you guys are challenged with? You'll also have a quiz that week on the reading. Class 5, we're going into innovation strategies and responses to disruptive innovation. So some of this reading, if you guys have done it recently, because I think you take a class that Nancy Philippart teaches, and if it precedes this class, you don't have to reread these things if they're fresh in your mind. But there is a quiz on it, so make sure that you feel comfortable with the reading. But some of it I think you did read prior. But they're here to help you understand what disruptive innovation is all about, how it affects potentially a specific phase company, and what are the instructions for managing that. Thursday, management of technology change as transformation, innovation in an organization. So again, we're looking at product innovation and how this, and then democratizing innovation. So what is the impact of user innovation? Our world is very different from what it used to be, and we now have the opportunity to look at how users are able to implement innovations on their own, and how companies can learn from their user base, and what to do about that. And again, a quiz. Let's see, motivating the elephant. This is all about the emotion of change and how we manage that. And then you'll have a culture hacks discussion board, which is due on June 24th. And you're going to give examples of current Ford culture hacks. Understanding the 5 characteristics of an innovation and their impact on the rate of adoption in class 8. Let's see. Attributes of innovation and their rate of adoption. So this will talk a lot about relative advantage and things like that compatibility, and how innovations, because of their attributes, might or might not diffuse quickly and easily. Let's see. I wanted to get, class 10 is really the last class where we have material that we're going to cover and a quiz. Your term project draft is due July 21st. And then in class 11, we will be doing the presentation. So that will be a synchronous session. And we'll just have it on, Thursday, July 28th. So although most of these sessions, are async, this one will be synchronous. So make sure that your calendar is clear for Thursday, July 28th from 5 to 9. We're going to try to get them all in. So I think that is the syllabus. Yeah, because this is all the references for it. So hopefully this helps you just kind of navigate, what the expectations are for the class. And, if you have any questions, certainly email me. Put the class, the title of the class, i.e. 6830, in the subject line, because that will help me to identify that this is from a student and that you need something. I try to get back to you within 48 hours. Most of the time I beat that, but depending on, circumstances and such, I want to make sure I set expectations appropriately. So don't use email in an emergency. Please, think ahead, get your quizzes done and stuff like that well before they're due. And I don't mean like days and, weeks or anything, but, don't wait till 4:00 on Thursday to take your quiz, because if something goes wrong and you need to, get help from the help desk or something like that. You don't want that, infringing on your ability to complete it. So just plan ahead, please. I think that's it. My contact information, I didn't really go through that, is right here. Christina M. Recchi at wayne.edu, and there's also at gmail.com. It's the same, so you can use either one. And the videos, if for some reason you have trouble getting to the videos using Canvas, they're also available on YouTube if that's easier for you to get to. They're harder to navigate on YouTube. It's not quite as organized as Canvas, but hopefully that'll help you. And welcome to the class, and I'm looking forward to talking to you all in the synchronous sessions and hoping that you get a lot out of the class. Thanks a lot.